Mutare, the 22nd Annual National People's Conference of Zanu-PF officially came to a close today at Mutare Polytechnic, marking the end of several days of intense deliberations on Zimbabwe's economic future, youth empowerment, and the party's strategic political direction. Held under the theme Attainment of Vision 2030 through Economic Empowerment and Value Addition, the conference brought together delegates from across the country to refine strategies for modernizing the national economy, promoting industrialization, and ensuring shared prosperity for all communities. The event also served as a rallying platform for President Emmerson Mnangagwa, as party structures openly reaffirmed their support for his leadership and pushed forward with plans to extend his tenure beyond 2028. Mutare, the Zanu-PF Secretary for Youth Affairs, delivered one of the most anticipated addresses of the conference when he presented resolutions from the Youth League. In his speech, Mutare praised President Mnangagwa's infrastructure and development projects across the country and applauded First Lady Auxilia Mnangagwa for her ongoing efforts to combat drug and substance abuse among young people. The Youth League expressed its full support for the president to continue his term until 2030, framing it as a continuation of his transformational leadership and a pathway to achieving Zimbabwe's Vision 2030. The youth further called for the capacitation of vocational training centers, expanded opportunities for land allocation and public sector jobs, and an increase in the youth quota from 10 to 60, a major political shift intended to give young people a stronger voice in governance. Other youth resolutions included promoting patriotism through national youth service, expanding sports and recreational facilities, and increasing funding for youth empowerment initiatives. The League also commended the president's youth-focused projects, which they said were changing lives and creating opportunities for the next generation. Beyond youth issues, the conference tackled major political and structural resolutions. Delegates reaffirmed last year's decision to extend President Mnangagwa's presidency beyond 2028. Zanu-PF Secretary for Legal Affairs, Sayambi, acknowledged that progress on the resolution had been slow since it was first adopted at the Bulawayo Conference in 2024. He made it clear that all party organs, including the Politburo and Central Committee, must now fully implement the directive to pave the way for the necessary constitutional amendments ahead of the next national gathering. The resolutions also addressed internal party cohesion. The conference called for harmonizing party affiliates to ensure unity and discipline, the allocation of motor vehicles to party structures to improve mobility, and the development of clearer guidelines to guarantee transparent and seamless internal elections. In an emotional moment, delegates also passed a resolution that non-combatant cadres will be accorded war veteran status upon death, while all veterans of the liberation struggle will receive state-assisted funerals, a move hailed as a gesture of respect and national honor. The resolutions were formally adopted after motions were moved and seconded by delegates. Zanu-PF National Chairman Apar Mchingari Kashuri officially declared them binding party policy going forward. The Central Committee report was also tabled, debated, and approved, setting the stage for the next phase of Zanu-PF's political and developmental agenda. In his closing address, President Mnangagwa commended delegates for engaging in what he described as robust, thoughtful, and forward-looking discussions. He emphasized that the resolutions adopted must not remain on paper, but must be translated into action at every level of the party. He called on villages, branches, and districts to draw concrete strategies, set measurable benchmarks, and ensure that economic programs deliver tangible results for the people. We must ensure that the policies we craft here today are lived out in every home and every community, the president said. Mnangagwa reaffirmed his commitment to youth empowerment, economic modernization, and rural development, stating that Vision 2030 is not just a slogan but a national mission to transform Zimbabwe into an upper-middle-income society. The 22nd Annual National People's Conference concluded with a united front, at least in official messaging, setting clear directives for continued economic empowerment, youth development, and national planning. But behind the unity, political observers note that the resolutions, particularly those relating to the extension of Mnangagwa's term, signal a deepening strategy to cement his control over the party and state structures heading toward 2030. For supporters, this is a continuation of stability and progress. For critics, it marks a steady tightening of power. Either way, the Mutare Conference has drawn the roadmap for Zimbabwe's next political chapter.